Hi, my name is Diane Blair Hickey, and when I was a child, I would watch movies like Sinbad the Sailor, Dr. Zhivago, and Lawrence of Arabia. It is these far-off adventures that created my desire to travel to exotic cultures. I've been fortunate to travel all over the world, and I've discovered that travel to exotic destinations has allowed me the opportunity to peer below the surface of the news and be able to disassemble sensationalism from the reality of foreign cultures. I remember getting lost on a lonely street in Istanbul at night. Yup, we were done. And we were being followed. A shop owner came to our rescue and gave us apple tea. In Ecuador, I was warned by the guidebook about pickpockets and thieves, and yet I had a waitress chase me down the street trying to return the tip I had left. On our next adventure, David and I are going on an 11-day tour to Morocco, a country that's 98% Muslim. You may be saying to yourself, is it safe? Well, here's a two-question quiz that you can decide for yourself. Which of these countries has not had a U.S. State Department travel alert or warning in the last 12 months? France, Croatia, Italy, Morocco, and the United Kingdom. The answer is Morocco. Which city, Fort Lauderdale or Casablanca, has not had any of the following in the last year? A terrorist shooting at the international airport killing 5, a shooting at a local mall killing 1, a terrorist shooting at a nightclub 3 hours away which killed 49. The answer is surprisingly Casablanca. There's a perception that Florida must be a much safer place than Morocco. After all, everyone there is different. It's in Africa. It's a Muslim country. And by the way, aren't we banning people from Muslim countries coming into the United States? The answer to the last question is no. The travel ban has been rejected by our courts. And furthermore, Morocco was never on the list of banned countries to begin with. One way to overcome misperceptions and prejudice is to travel, and specifically to travel to foreign and exotic places that are unfamiliar to us. Travel breaks down barriers between people and opens our eyes to the world in which we all live. Understanding different cultures can make a difference in our lives as it moves people towards peace in this world, one person at a time. So what makes Morocco an interesting destination, and what will we be seeing? Morocco has been at the trading crossroads of Europe and Africa for thousands of years, creating a unique blend of Islamic, Arabic, African, French, and Spanish influences, creating stunning architecture, delicious cuisine, and an intriguing culture. The old cities, called Medinas, are energetic places where daily life navigates the narrow streets, and royal palaces have arched entrances of colorful and intricately designed mosaic tile. The aromas of mint tea, lamb, and chicken permeate the maze-like lanes. The Sahara Desert is a seemingly endless expanse of undulating sand dunes, framed by a deep blue sky, and is home to nomadic desert dwellers. From the Mediterranean coast to the high Atlas Mountains, beyond which stretch the Sahara Desert, Morocco forms a gigantic semicircle facing the Atlantic. There'll be lots of things to see and do on this trip, and I'm just going to talk about some of the highlights we'll be experiencing. We will visit 5 UNESCO sites in the cities of Fez, Marrakesh, Meknes, and Rabat, as well as the Qasr of A Ben Haddou, which is a fortress which runs along the former caravan route between the Sahara and Marrakesh. Casablanca is the commercial hub of Morocco, where skyscrapers stand in stark contrast to the small shops of the Medina with its narrow, winding streets. We'll be spending 2 nights in Casablanca, one night at the beginning of the tour and one at the end. We will see the Hassan II Mosque, the largest in the country and the 3rd largest in the world, 2/3 of which jut out over the ocean. The minaret is 656 feet tall and has 2 laser beams that shine in the direction of Mecca. We will end the tour with a fabulous 4-course celebration dinner with drinks at Rick's Cafe, made famous by the 1942 movie Casablanca. An interesting footnote: The movie was shot on a set in Los Angeles. Rick's Cafe was developed by Kathy Krieger in 2004, a former American diplomat in Morocco. The restaurant is housed in a traditional Moroccan grand mansion with a central courtyard called a riad, built in 1930. Filled with architectural and decorative details reminiscent of the film, there's even an authentic 1930s piano. We will be making a nostalgic step back into time with the atmosphere and the music. And, most importantly, the food is also good. From Casablanca, we head to Rabat, a pretty city of domes and minarets. We'll visit the Mohammed V Mausoleum, a masterpiece of traditional Moroccan art and one of the very few Islamic religious buildings open to non-Muslims. Meknes is one of the kingdom's great imperial cities dating back to the 11th century. Its surroundings remain unchanged for centuries. We'll be dazzled by the beauty of the Bab el-Mansur Gate in the heart of the Medina. The Al-Hadim Square in Meknes comes to life in the late afternoon and evening and fills with crowds playing games of chance, listening to storytellers, and selling their wares. Fez is the second largest city in Morocco, dating back to the 9th century, the cultural and spiritual center of Morocco. We will explore the city's major sites and, of course, spend time in Morocco's most famous bazaar. We'll also witness firsthand the skillful and ancient techniques of traditional pottery and bread making. We'll visit the University of Al Khourwain in Fez, which is one of the oldest universities, having been founded in 859 by a woman. I'm going to insert a quick note that we will have a tour director with us the entire trip, who will be on hand to share knowledge, advice, and act as a traveling concierge and make sure that everything runs smoothly. In addition to the tour director, in Fez and Marrakesh, we will have local guides that will make it possible for us to gain an understanding of what it's like to actually reside in the region as they share their personal stories, traditions, and insights. One evening, we'll be treated to a Moroccan feast and a traditional folklore show in an ancient palace at the entrance to a medina. We will enjoy a colorful array of meze plates, or small plates, tangines, exotic fruits, and wine amid a carnival-like atmosphere of belly dancers, drums, and authentic music. We will experience the spectacular scenery of the high Atlas Mountains and the Ziz Gorges. And this will include the dramatic and unforgettable Tsitsanitsha Pass. In ERFOUD, we will literally be staying at the Kasbah. A Kasbah, the definition of a Kasbah is a place where the local leader lived. It's a 4.5-star hotel situated at the edge of the Sahara Desert and has all the modern amenities, including free Wi-Fi. Sometimes we may want to spend time away from the group or be able to select options that are not part of the tour. One of 3 such options is a jeep safari into the sand dunes of the Sahara Desert as we watch the sun set and the changing palette of the sand dunes. As we venture toward the oasis of Tanahir, we will explore the Tadra Gorge, the Grand Canyon of the Sahara. We will encounter the dry, rugged Dades Valley, dotted with oases with figs, olives, date palms, and castellated mud houses hugging the slopes. I had to look up castellated, and what I found out is that it meant it has towers and battlements just like a castle. One of the many authentic cultural experiences we'll have is to stop for Berber tea at a traditional nomad house and speak with an imam. I want to make a quick mention about the food. Many people think that Moroccan food is spicy, but traditional Moroccan cuisine uses fragrant spices like cinnamon, ginger, saffron, cumin, and caraway rather than hot spices. Pictured as a chicken tangine. A tangine is a traditional meat and vegetable dish. Tangine refers to the dish that it's cooked in. So what does it taste like? It's flavorful and slightly exotic tasting because of the combination of spices, yet it's oddly familiar because the spices are those that we're familiar with in this country. Another traditional dish is couscous. Couscous is made from coarsely ground wheat and tastes like pasta. It's mixed with vegetables, chickpeas, olive oils, and spices for a delicious and filling dish. Bastia is Morocco's famous chicken pie. A light, crispy phyllo pastry shell conceals savory saffron chicken and a crunchy topping of fried almonds sweetened with orange flower water. A garnish of powdered sugar and cinnamon adds to the fabulous blend of flavors. Of all the Moroccan dishes, I'm looking forward to trying the gazelle horns the most. They're pastries filled with almond paste, orange flower water, and cinnamon, molded into a crescent and then baked until golden brown. Even though we'll be traveling on buses, we'll be making many interesting stops along the way. One such stop is at the village of Ait Ben Haddou, boasting one of Morocco's finest Kasbahs as we travel from Ouarzazate to Marrakesh. The Kasr, a group of earthen buildings surrounded by high walls, is a traditional pre-Saharan habitat. The houses crowd together within the defensive walls, which are reinforced by corner towers. At Ait Ben Haddou in Ouarzazate province, it's a striking example of the architecture of southern Morocco. No trip to Morocco would be complete without a visit to Marrakesh, where we will be spending 2 nights. We'll experience the famous bustling Jem El Fana Square, where we will watch the dancers, snake charmers, and storytellers and acrobats. If you're a foodie, there are stalls that only appear as dusk begins to fall. Each evening, the food stalls arrive by mule carts. The chefs fire up the gas bottles and start to cook tangine. When the barbecues are lit, the air is filled with enticing aromas. We will explore the Medina, seeing the Koutoubia Mosque with a minaret that dominates the Marrakesh skyline. Then we visit the Palais de Bahia, built in the late 19th century, intended to be the greatest palace of its time. The hotels that we will be staying at will be 4 to 4.5-star properties and will meet the most demanding of Western standards. Some will be in a Western style, such as this one, where others will be of a more traditional Moroccan design with modern amenities, and all of them have free Wi-Fi. I hope you will consider going to the Kasbah with us. No visas or shots are required. Just bring an open mind and anticipate a great adventure. This trip is for you if you find exotic cultures interesting, like unusual architecture, like trying unfamiliar foods, like history, have always wanted to travel to unusual places but didn't want to go alone. The cost is $21.50 per person, plus airfare of about $900 to $1,000 from Miami. Included are 9 breakfasts, 2 lunches, 5 dinners. If you're interested, I'll be happy to provide you with more information and give you the exact itinerary. Shukran, which means thank you in Arabic.